Pastor Brian here with you. Just wanted to say welcome back. We're going to start our in-person services here on the 24th, and we wanted to give you a glimpse as to what to expect when you come back for our in-person services. We're so excited that so many of you decided to join us for our in-person services, but for those of you who for health reasons aren't able to join us right now, whatever the case may be, and don't forget, all of our services will still be offered online, every one of them, the entire services. But I want to start here on the outside because there are some differences you need to be aware of. First of all, we're starting here in the parking lot. You're familiar with that. You can park in this parking lot. I mean, if it gets a little overflow, we understand. But we are limited in the number of seats that we have available. And so we'll be talking about more about that on the inside. But you'll probably more than likely be able to park in the parking lot. And when you come up to the front door here, first thing that's going to be different for you is you're going to be met with a greeter. Now, not our typical greeters that we have. Thank you for those of you who volunteered for that ministry for so long, and pray that we get able to get back to having you do that again. But this will be somebody who will be here to greet with you, and they'll be greeting you by, they'll be here with their mask on and gloves on, and they're actually going to open the door for you and let you come on in. Do be aware of your social distancing on your way in. Please don't congregate and get all bunched up here, guys, if you can please avoid that. But nonetheless, we are so excited to be able to start in-person services with you again. Looking forward to seeing you guys face to face. I love you guys. Let's head on in. So good to see you. Come on in again. Let's continue on with our tour now of what you can expect when you come back to church. First thing I want you to notice, I know you see the table I'm standing in front of. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, notice on the floor here that we have marked the path that we'll be taking. I know, guys, that might sound a little silly to you because you're like going, I've been to church 1,000 times. I know how to get to the sanctuary. But per regulations and the protocols of what we have to follow, we had to clearly mark how we're going to be entering and exiting this building. So you can obviously see the arrows right now only go one direction, which means that you're not going to be exiting from the same place that you entered, but we'll get there eventually. In the meantime, when you come in, there will be someone standing here to greet you. They will be gloved and masked as well for your protection, and they will be handing out the hymnals to you. Now, our hymnals will be disinfected in between each and every service. And so we have a limited number per service, but that's based off the number of seating we have there, so it'll work out. What we expect is, if you wouldn't mind planning on one hymnal for 2 people, that'll help us kind of control how many we have to deal with. And then we'll be picking those up and disinfecting them in preparation for the next time we gather together, the next service, as the case may be. In addition, at this table, you will see that we have masks available in case you forgot your mask. All right, we'll have a mask available for you. And we also have, of course, our visitors' gifts. If you're your first time here, we have a visitor's gift for you. All our masks and our gifts have been bagged individually. They were bagged by us as we were wearing gloves and wearing our face masks so that you don't have to worry about contamination from these things. Feel free to take one of these, or we'll hand you one of these as the case may be, so you can certainly come in and join us for these services. And we're so excited to have you here. So the next thing you'll do is you'll continue on around the corner into the sanctuary, and I'll pick you up right there again. So go ahead and head on in. I'll be right there. All right, guys, here we are in our typical foyer area, right by the bathrooms here. You'll see the bathrooms as you come in. Those are, of course, still available for use. Do limit, if you see somebody else going in, limit how many you can so you can make sure you keep your social distancing as well there. In addition, as you come around the corner here, we have some hand sanitizer available for you, some wet wipes, and some tissue in case you're suffering with seasonal allergies or something to that effect right now. In addition, there are some envelopes here in case you didn't drop your tithe in the box on the way in, which is right inside the doors out there. You can take an envelope, fill it out during the service, and we'll have another location for you to drop it in if you'd like to later on. Now, why I stopped you out here is I wanted to make something clear that unfortunately, because we're not able to do things the normal way right now, if I can put it that way, we're in that new norm for now, or that temp norm, however you want to call it. There are certain parts of our buildings that are off limits. That would include our basement, where we normally have our children's church, and our upstairs, where we have our Sunday school class for our teens, and my office, and the nursery. So we have signed areas that say authorized personnel only. That doesn't mean that we don't think you're important, that you're not a big part of us. It just simply means these are areas of our building that you're not allowed to enter into right now. Hopefully sooner than later, we'll be able to get back to normal on those things. But that's all I want to stop y'all here for and kind of point out to you. And so don't forget that these things are available for your use here. And so even if you get up during the services because you have to use the restroom or something of that nature, be aware of your social distancing and be aware of being cleanly. Wash your hands in there, wipe and make sure you use the hand sanitizer on your way out. So let's head into the sanctuary and I'll show you what we got going on in there. All right, guys, I want to stop you right here at the sanctuary doors and kind of point out some changes that you might not really recognize when you first come in. I know you've been in the sanctuary several times. You've probably seen our picture online about the sanctuary. But there's some changes that will be happening while you're in the sanctuary here. First of all, you'll have somebody who's going to stop you or greet you at the door there. They will be masked as well to let you know. And what they're going to do is, based off your family size, they're going to direct you to what seats you might need to go to. You'll notice as you pan around and look around our sanctuary here, we have some seats that are set up in 2s. We have some seats that are in the middle here set up in 4s. And then we have some groupings of 3 as well. And so, depending on your family size, we'll be putting you in a seat. Now, luckily, we're still close enough. We can still talk to one another, guys. You'll still be wearing your mask at this point, but once you get in your seat and services start and everybody is seated, you will be welcome to remove your mask at that time, unless, of course, you have to get up and leave the sanctuary for some reason. We'd ask that you mask up on your way back when you can't be at a social distance. That being said, though, one of the other things about that is we'll be directing you to sit down in an appropriate area based on the size of people of your family or how many chairs that you need. And we'll be seating from the front to the back. All right, that way we don't have people having to walk by people who are already sitting here and things of that nature as they come in. We'll be seating from the front to the back. Now, if you're coming, maybe you've got adult children that live with you or the other people who live with you that will be coming with you, but you guys are going to be arriving at different times. Still feel free to come on in. Tell us how many you have. We'll make sure we get you in the appropriate seating. And when they show up, we'll get them to your seats, even if they do have to walk by people. So, once we're in the sanctuary here, everybody's seated, we'll have our services that we normally do. And we'll talk more about our services and how those are going to be happening, what they're going to look like from this point forward in a minute. But what I want to go to next is we'll talk about our services and what we're going to have going. And then we'll talk about when the service is over after that, how we're going to be exiting. So, go ahead and take a seat right up front, and we'll get busy talking about that. Okay, guys. Let's talk about our services for a second. Now, most of you know how our services normally run, and we will have them running the same way. There'll be some differences, though. We will not have a live pianist for a while. We're just still working on those things. But Miss Beverly, our pianist, has graciously recorded all of our songs for us, and she'll be singing along with Miss Chandra during all of our services. We'll be able to hear them here in the sanctuary, and we'll be able to sing right along with them. So don't be afraid of those things. Sing out loud, just like if the piano itself was playing, okay? In addition to that, there's some other changes about our services I need to make you guys aware of. 2 really significant ones in particular. The first one is this. Because you saw the limited number of seats that we have available, and because so many of you want to come back for in-person services, which we're not upset about, we're actually very excited about that. We're very happy with that. Because so many of you want to join us, we want you to join us, and we want to see you, we're going to have to go to 2 services. And so we will be offering a 9 a.m. service and an 11 a.m. service on the 24th when we start our in-person services, a 9 a.m. service and an 11 a.m. service. And what I'm asking is this, guys. If you are somebody who is typically used to coming to Sunday school or coming to the earlier part of the service there, that you would be willing to come back at the early service at the 9 a.m. Be aware of the fact, though, if the 9 a.m. fills up, we may have to tell some of you at the door, hey, you might come back at 11. And once we get that settled and you know what service works for you, then we'll be able to go from there. So the point is this. If you want to, even shoot us a text here at the church at 208-254-1178 and tell us how many in the family, how many to expect, and which one of those 2 services are going to work best for you. That will help us a little bit in the planning purposes, and we can also maybe just let people know exactly what service might work for them. That is the one change there on Sunday morning you need to be aware of. Now, if you come to the 9 a.m. service, it's going to be different in the sense that we're not going to be live streaming that one. And that one's just going to be us in person here together. The 11 a.m. service will be live streamed, so just be aware of that. But again, once you're seated in your chair, we invite you to, if you want to, take your mask off at that point. Feel free to do so. Again, we just ask that when you get back up, either to exit the building, or if you're going to head to the restroom or something of that nature, that you just mask back up to show your care and your concern for your other brothers and sisters in Christ who are here worshiping with you. Now, that being said, one of the other changes that myself and the deacons have come up with is this. We are going to change our format on our Sunday evening service. We're still going to meet at 5 p.m., but our 5 p.m. service, which again will be live streamed, and for those who want to come back and join us for our in-person services, are welcome to do so. But our 5 p.m. service is now going to become our prayer and praise service. You know, what we normally or typically did on Wednesday night. Now, there's not going to be any study necessarily involved with that, aside from the comments and stuff like that I sometimes make as we go through our praise and prayer requests. That being said, though, the point of the matter is this, is our Sunday evening services starting at 5 p.m. will be our praise and prayer time now. Our Wednesday or midweek service, this is a big change. This will now actually be a full-on regular church service, kind of similar to what our Sunday night service used to be. This service, though, we are designating or setting aside specifically for our at-risk population in our church. I just want our brothers and our sisters who know they're kind of in the at-risk community and don't feel comfortable coming back right now to our in-person services with all of us, know that we love you, we care about you, and that night we will not have children present. That night we will have those who are not at-risk population will not be here, aside from potentially myself, and things of that nature. That service, again, will still be live streamed for those of you who will be at home, so you can kind of get that midweek Bible study. This will be a full-on Bible study service time. And we'll run it very similar and actually almost identical to our Sunday morning services, so that our at-risk population gets their worship service in every week as well. So that is the big changes in our services coming forward, and that will begin on the 24th in the sense of that's when you will start all those changes in our midweek service and stuff like this. But we may actually, even as early as this weekend, change that formatting a little bit so you guys can start to get used to it and what it's going to look like online there as well. All right, I think that covers all that I need to let you know about our services. Our service times the only changes is we'll have the two services on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. And so make sure you kind of already have in your head which one of those two you think you'd like to come out for. I encourage you to come out for those things. We love you, and we plan on seeing you there. So let's just assume that I haven't gone long, and we're going to be exiting the service now. Now, if you're coming to the 9 a.m. service, I want to encourage you in particular. Both our 9 and 11 a.m. service will have to get out, kind of exit the building, but we have to be able to clean in between services to disinfect. We have spray disinfection. We have to disinfect. We have to be able to that's the word. The spray around in the building here, wipe down the touchable surfaces and stuff like this in between services. Give it plenty of time to dry before the next people come and sit down. And so we have already figured out how long that needs. So that means once the service is over, I'm going to need you to get up, and I love you. I'm going to be dismissing you by rows so we can keep our social distancing, and we'll be leaving the building and heading out. Now, I'll show you where we're going to head out here in just one moment. And once we get out there, here's what I'll show you what's going to happen there. You'll be back into the parking lot and be able to leave from that point. And the rest of us that will be remaining here to take care of things will start our disinfecting of the building in preparation for our next service, whether it be the second morning service or that Sunday evening service. All right, well, with that, let's go ahead and just assume the services are over and you've stood up, and I just told you that your row has been dismissed. You're going to come to the front of the sanctuary, and when you come to the front of the sanctuary down the row that you're on, you'll notice as you turn to what would be your right, my left, that you'll see the exit door there, which is typically the emergency exit in our church building here. You'll also notice we have an arrow on the floor there for you. So you'll be exiting out of that door. We will have somebody holding that door for you as well. You don't need to touch that surface. But on your way out, there are a couple things you need to be aware of. Let's just kind of walk like we're leaving right now. You'll notice here that we have both another location for an offering box. So if you want to drop your offering on the way out, you're welcome to do so now. But, and this is the big deal, guys, notice here we have a place for you to put your hymnals at. On your way out, if you please place your hymnals, don't leave them on your chairs. We got to start disinfecting. Please put your hymnals on this table. You can stack them up. We're not worried about those things because we need to be able to take them from here, get them disinfecting because it takes a week for them to actually be disinfected. So we're going to get them up there, start setting up hymnals for the next service. We have plenty for each service, and then we'll start disinfecting these ones. So we'll go ahead and leave, and I'll show you what that's going to look like. All right, guys, thank you for joining us for services, and we're so excited to have you guys back. You'll exit through this door. You can see the big exit sign right there, and you'll come out through the sidewalk here. Now, this sidewalk leads into what is typically a parking spot. This parking spot has been and will be blocked off and reserved, so nobody can park here. So when we exit, people can easily flow back out into the parking lot area. So that's how it's going to work. You're going to enter your car from that point. We're so glad that we're able to get together again. We're looking forward to having services with you here a week from this Sunday, or so the 24th, and we hope you all will plan on joining us. We love you, God loves you, and God's got this.